Tua Tagovailoa, Ryan Clark. Whoa, the beef between Tua Tagovailoa and Ryan Clark is officially on. This is Sports Guy Talking that you guys are watching and listening to. I am Dustin Tran, your host, as I'm here today to talk about Tua Tagovailoa clapping back at Ryan Clark for comments that were made about his weight. Ryan Clark claimed that Tua Tagovailoa had become too fat in his body as he was trashing Tua when asked on how he would perform this season. However, Tua Tagovailoa stood up for himself when asked about Ryan Clark, essentially calling him fat. Before I say anything else though, I want to present you guys with a topic question. So here it is. Whose side are you on? Ryan Clark or Tua Tagovailoa? And honestly, I'm on Tua Tagovailoa's side. Even though I'm not a fan of Tua's game, clearly Ryan Clark was in the wrong here. And look, I get where Ryan Clark was coming from. When he was asked a question about Tua Tagovailoa, he gave his honest and authentic opinion. However, when he trashed Tua Tagovailoa, he has to understand that, hey man, just keep it all about football. He didn't need to trash him on a personal level. He didn't need to go there talking about tattoo parlors and being lazy. I mean, come on, I criticize Tua for a lot of things. I don't think he's that good of a quarterback. I don't think Tua Tagovailoa will ever live up to being the number 5 overall pick. I think this guy could potentially be a draft bust. But when you look at Tua's game, you have to admit, okay, he works really hard at his game. He works hard at his craft, and he knows what he's doing. He's not a village idiot. Tua Tagovailoa has shown flashes of being a good quarterback. Although, to be honest, when you have Tyreek Hill and Jaylen Waddle on your team, you should look good at the quarterback position. But hey, at least Tua Tagovailoa isn't Baker Mayfield. At least he isn't that bad of a quarterback. At least Tua Tagovailoa can show stretches of really good play. Remember that Ravens game from last year where Tua threw for 6 touchdowns, made a huge comeback against the Baltimore Ravens? Yeah, I remember that game where Tua balled out in that moment. Remember the time where there was a stretch where Tua Tagovailoa threw 20 touchdowns to only 3 interceptions? I mean, Tua Tagovailoa has always shown signs of being able to play in the NFL. However, one of the biggest criticisms that I have for Tua Tagovailoa is his ability to stay on the field. Tua Tagovailoa has gotten hurt in each of his 3 NFL seasons, and part of the reason why he keeps getting hurt is because of the fact that he has a really small frame. Tua Tagovailoa is not a particularly big quarterback in the National Football League. Tua is only 6'1". More importantly, he only weighed 217 pounds. Now, if you're playing at that weight at the quarterback position where you're not particularly fast, you're going to be prone to injury. Tua Tagovailoa needs to bulk up big time, and obviously Tua Tagovailoa has put in the work because now he weighs 227. Now, do I think Tua Tagovailoa needs to lighten up his weight a little bit? Yeah, I think he needs to do that. But to call Tua Tagovailoa fat is absolutely uncalled for. The way Ryan Clark talked about Tua, you would have thought this dude got Jamarcus Russell weight on him. You would have thought Tua Tagovailoa was 260 pounds and he was running at a 5'5", 40-yard dash. That's how fat Ryan Clark made him sound like, when the reality of the situation was Tua Tagovailoa was trying to beef up because he's trying to avoid getting back in concussion protocol. Did you guys know that Tua Tagovailoa had 3 separate concussions last year? Because if you guys didn't know that beforehand, now you guys know that, and now you guys understand, hey, he has to get stronger so he can avoid taking those hits regarding his concussions. If Tua Tagovailoa gets one more concussion, he might have to retire from the NFL, and that's going to be a darn shame for both Tua and the Dolphins. Considering the fact that the Dolphins invested the 5th overall pick in Tua Tagovailoa, yeah, they need to make sure that he bulks up and stays healthy, considering the fact that their offensive line is very weak, considering the fact that their running game is really not that good whatsoever. They're going to have to rely on throwing the ball, and they're going to have to throw it a lot and throw it 40 times a game because that's the kind of roster that they have. Tua Tagovailoa doesn't have the luxury to hand it off to a beast of a running back 20-30 times a game. Tua Tagovailoa has to make sure that the offense is working in the passing game. And honestly, when you have Tyreek Hill and Jaylen Waddle, yeah, you should be doing that. And also, here's the thing too, his coach is an offensive mastermind. Mike McDaniel is one of the brightest offensive minds in all of football. You guys might be able to criticize Mike McDaniel for a ton of things, but one thing you cannot criticize Mike McDaniel for is his ability to draw up plays. And I want to go ahead and bring up this next point I'm going to talk about. This is about Ryan Clark. He said this about Tua. I'm going to try to read it in his voice where he sounds like he's constantly crying and wailing his tail off. He said, quote,
"I'm going to tell you what he wasn't doing. He wasn't in the gym. I'll bet you that. He might have spent a lot of time at the tattoo parlor. He was not at the dinner table eating what the nutritionist had advised. He looks happy. He is thick. He's built like a girl working at Onyx in Atlanta. right on the bottom.
And honestly, when I read that statement about Ryan Clark, I'm thinking, man, did this Ryan Clark guy know what he was talking about? Did this man take too much CTE in his head? Because what is he talking about with Tua Tagovailoa? So because he gets a tattoo on one side of the arm while bulking up a little bit, oh, now he's lazy. Now he's fat. Now he's out of shape. Man, this dude making it sound like Tua Tagovailoa ate nothing but cheeseburgers all off season while getting biscuits as a side dessert, and he weighed 260 pounds when in reality, Tua Tagovailoa is only at 227 pounds. What is Ryan Clark even talking about? And this is the problem that I have with ESPN and Ryan Clark. These guys spew out hot takes when they don't even believe their own takes, and they're only doing it for views. Meanwhile, you got small channels like me who have no funding whatsoever, where they're doing nothing but spitting out authentic opinions, and then guys like Ryan Clark, they have to go ahead and ruin it for the rest of us because he has to spew out some stupid stuff that he had to just say about Tua Tagovailoa. Look, you can trash Tua for having a weak arm. You can trash him for his inability to stay healthy, but what you can't trash Tua on is that he doesn't work hard, because Tua Tagovailoa is a hard worker. He put in the work this offseason, and anybody that's watched training camp in the preseason understood that Tua Tagovailoa put in the work to be in excellent shape. I mean, just look at Tua's body. You can tell that he's gotten more muscular in his body. You can tell that he's put on some weight, and that is going to be harder hitting him the way that he's been getting hit in his first 3 seasons. And I like how Tua Tagovailoa clapped back, because Tua Tagovailoa said, quote, he probably knows more about me than I know about myself. I don't know. Ryan's been out of the league for some time. I don't know. It's a little weird when other people are talking about other people when they're not that person. Just a little weird. My background is that I come from a Samoan family. Respect is everything. But it does get to a point where, hey, little easy on that, buddy, because I think we're pretty tough-minded people. And if we need to get scrappy, we can get scrappy too. Just saying. And I gotta applaud Tua for that statement right there. That couldn't have been a better response to Ryan Clark than that. I'm glad that Tua Tagovailoa put Ryan Clark in his place. Then he also said, quote, I think we all worked hard throughout the offseason. I'm not someone to talk about myself the entire time, but it takes a lot. You think I wanted to build all this muscle? To some extent, I wanted to be a little lighter. There's a mixture of things that people don't understand, that people don't know about, that are talked about, that go behind the scenes. I'd appreciate it if you keep my name out of your mouth. That's what I'd say. And I absolutely agree. And someone should tell Ryan Clark, hey man, stop with the hot takes right now, because you're trying to turn into Kendrick Perkins of the NFL, where you just spew out hot takes that make zero sense whatsoever. Clearly, Ryan Clark was in the wrong here. He doesn't know what he's talking about, and Tua Tagovailoa put him back in his place, and Tua taught him a big lesson right there. Even though I doubt Tua the football player, I don't doubt Tua the person, or I don't doubt Tua the work ethic man, because Tua puts in the work and he tries to be great. It's just that he can't stay healthy. But man, if Tua could just stay healthy and get a better deep ball in his game, then Tua Tagovailoa is going to be one of the top quarterbacks in the NFL. I mean, do I ever think that he'll live up to expectations of being a former number 5 overall pick? No, I don't think he's going to ever live up to those expectations. But I think Tua Tagovailoa could at least be an average starter in the NFL if he can stay healthy. I still have doubts about that. But to trash Tua Tagovailoa on his weight, that is absolutely ridiculous and absolutely a low blow job by Ryan Clark. That was unacceptable by him. I hope Tua Tagovailoa made Ryan Clark learn his lesson. That's the reality of the situation that Ryan Clark is going to have to live with moving forward. By the way, guys, I got those quotes from Awful Announcing, so I just wanted to let you guys know where I got those statements from for Ryan Clark and Tua Tagovailoa. So that is why I am in agreement with Tua Tagovailoa, even though I am not high on Tua Tagovailoa this season. Clearly, the comments that Ryan Clark made were absolutely uncalled for. Remember, go ahead and subscribe to Sports Guy Talking, like the video, and please comment down below. If you guys do that, I may shout you guys out in my Instagram story every Monday. That'll be for the @Dustin Tran Instagram account. Make sure to follow me on Instagram @Dustin Tran and @Sports Guy Talking. Also, go follow me on Twitter @Dustin Tran. Again, go ahead and do those things that I just told you guys to go do. Hopefully, you guys enjoyed the content that was just produced. Peace out. I hope you enjoyed that video. Want more Sports Guy Talking, the home of great sports content? Make sure you click that subscribe button to get the latest from Sports Guy Talking. Go ahead and like the video. Comment down below. Check the description box on the video in order to follow my Instagram and Twitter. Also, be sure to check out more of the best clips from the YouTube channel, Sports Guy Talking.